What's going on, guys? Rachel West here along with Rick Stroud and Joey Knight on a victory Monday after week one, the Bucs defeating the Cowboys. Tom Brady defeating the Cowboys yet again. He's undefeated against them. All in all, for the most part, a good night. But Rick, there are a couple of question marks with a couple of guys coming out of the game with injuries.
Yeah, Chris Godwin, it was a scary moment because he tried to catch a ball down below his feet and ended up limping off the field. Fortunately, it's not the knee that he had repaired, or the ACL, the MCL. It's just a hamstring strain. And when we say just a hamstring, I'm sure it hurts. But it's one of those things that is not unusual, especially this time of year when you do a lot of running. He has not played a football game. But I think they'll be cautious with him. I'm sure they don't want to put him back out there. But they got him first play of the game. They throw a screen to him, 24 yards, get the hit out of the way. His confidence comes back that quickly. And I think it was a really good night overall, especially since he avoided major injury. The other one is Donovan Smith, and this is maybe more of an immediate concern because of who they play. They play the Saints, who have had their number, especially defensively on that defensive line, guys like Cam Jordan and the like. He hyperextended his elbow. Todd Bowles said today that it was basically a pain tolerance issue with Donovan Smith, so he'll have to see as they proceed through the week whether or not he feels like he can go. But Josh Wells would be the guy stepping in. He gave up a sack when he did get in the game, but played well afterwards. So with all the changes to the offensive line, they finished the game with one guy, Tristan Wirfs, who played last year, and that was it.
And then, Joey, we would be remiss if we didn't talk about the defense last night. Right. Devin White getting the sacks, Levante David, Shaq Barrett, they all stepped up.
Absolutely, and this, in fairness, this was not the same Dallas team, certainly not the same Dallas set of receivers as we saw in the 2021 season opener. But that said, it was a very inspired effort by the Bucs defense. Dallas finished with 244 total yards, 71 on the ground. Just some outstanding pass coverage. Carlton Davis had an outstanding game. He was in guys' grill all night. Antoine Winfield had the interception. 2 or 3 guys probably could have had that interception. There were that many guys in the vicinity. We saw a loaded secondary, guys normally playing safety, going up, playing on the line of scrimmage, playing kind of a nickel thing. We were told that's what Todd Bowles would do with this scheme this year. That worked on opening night. And to top it all off, Devin White looked like Devin White circa 2020. Had a couple of sacks, led the team in tackles. He was inspired. So something just really to hang your hat on and build on going forward.
Definitely a defensive effort that Bucs fans can get behind. And then, Rick, on the offensive side of the ball, not too many touchdowns, but Leonard Fournette really was the workhorse for them.
He was, and I think that was the plan going in. You have a young offensive line. You want to protect your 45-year-old quarterback. I don't think this is dissimilar than what we're going to see a lot this year because I think Todd Bowles and Tom Brady have a belief that you need to help your defense, you need to run the football, you need to protect your aging quarterback, and the best way to do it is to turn and hand it off. And I thought, Robert Hainsey and Luke Gedeke and all those guys did a really good job of getting out in front of those blocks, and Leonard ran for the most yards he's had in a game since he's been in Tampa. So you got to keep him healthy. We saw a little bit of Rashard White. I think we'll see more of him as the season goes along, just to take some of that workload off of Leonard Fournette. But he was a force last night and on Sunday night, and if they can do that against the Saints, that will slow that pass rush, which is what they need to do.
Absolutely. Season opener Lenny looking like in mid-season form, or playoff Lenny. And then also, Joey, on the offensive side, the wide receivers. Obviously, Godwin went out for a little bit there, but Mike Evans with an acrobatic catch in the end zone. Julio Jones made some good plays of his own, too.
That was a Mike Evans trademark, that one-handed snag. So few people on the planet can do that, and he does it as well as any of those few. Julio Jones, I saw a number. He was running faster on some of those routes than he has in years. I mean, we're talking 20 miles an hour, something ridiculous like that. He's obviously been reborn with Tom Brady as his quarterback now. It'll be interesting just to see how that clairvoyance develops as they play more games together. There's still a little concern going forward in terms of the tight end. The 2 young rookie tight ends, Cade Otton and Ko Keith, came in, did a fabulous job blocking, did a fabulous job on special teams. Cade Otton had a couple of special teams tackles. didn't have any catches. Kyle Rudolph was not activated, the veteran. He doesn't play special teams. That's what they needed that particular night. They need production eventually from the tight end position, and they got none. So that's something that they've got to rectify, and something, a point of concern going forward.
Definitely. They're going to need production out of everybody this coming week, because we all know they've struggled mightily against the Saints these last couple matchups in those last few years. So it's going to be a tough week of practice, but start of the season, 1-0, can't ask for anything more than that. So make sure you guys are keeping up with all of our Bucs coverage that we've got for you over on social media at Sports by Tampa Bay Times, as well as over at tampabay.com.